This story comes from a retired park ranger who worked in North Carolina, deep in the Appalachian range. He said it started during a routine check of one of his less trafficked ridgeline trails. It was a foggy morning, normal for the season, but the air felt unusually still. He thought maybe a storm was moving in. So a half mile in, he noticed something strange. The trail markers, bright orange painted on the trees, they had vanished. Now, he had personally repainted that section just 2 weeks earlier. At first, he thought vandals might have stripped the bark or covered them. But the trail itself changed. There was a sharp left turn he didn't recognize. He'd hiked this path hundreds of times, but it now suddenly veered off into a dense rhododendron thicket that he'd never been part of the trail system before. Still, it looked traveled, fresh boot prints in the mud. So he followed them. About 300 yards in, the trail opened to a perfectly round clearing. No underbrush, no fallen branches, just dry pine needles in a perfect circle. He said standing in the clearing gave him a pressure headache, like his ears needed to pop. He took out his radio and checked, but didn't have a signal. And that's when he realized something was very wrong. The prints he had been following, they were now his. The same tread, the same depth. They looped back in a perfect circle around the clearing like he had been following himself. Suddenly, a figure appeared on the opposite side of the clearing. A man wearing a national park uniform. Same build, same hat. But the face wasn't quite right. Like it was too symmetrical, too clean, like a wax figure that almost passed for human. The figure raised a hand in greeting, but the ranger raised his, and then it just started to mimic every movement exactly, as if it were some type of reflection. Except they're in the middle of the woods and there was no mirror. So he's like blinking his eyes and it just was gone, just like that. So freaked out, he'd never experienced anything like this before. He just started sprinting back the way he came. No trail, no markers, no path, just sprinting. He wandered for hours and finally stumbled onto an ATV trail. And when he returned with the team the next day, there was no clearing, no fork in the trail, and the orange markers were exactly where they should have been.